My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Zootopia 2. And I feel like I begin every Disney review like this, but still, what has happened to them? Like, before this movie, there was Moana 2, which sucked. Before that, there was Wish, which sucked. Before Wish, there was Strange World, which sucked. Like, their past four movies have just been utter trash, and are they capable of making a good movie now? Like, I love Disney. So many of my favorite movies of all time are Disney movies. And it just sucks to see this studio become what it has become. Look, I know everybody else seems to love this movie. It has a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, but I just despised it. I thought this movie was complete trash from beginning to end. So let's begin by talking about the cast. And Jennifer Goodwin just gives the same performance. There's nothing about her that really stands out. I guess she does bring energy to this movie, but I was still left unimpressed. And I loved Jason Bateman's performance in the first movie, but here it just feels like more of the same. He acts the same way, he talks the same way. It just felt very underwhelming to me. Then we've got Kiwi Kwan as Gary the Snake, and I thought he was just annoying. Look, I'm going to be honest, I do not like Kiwi Kwan. He did a fine job in Kung Fu Panda 4, but all of his recent performances just kinda annoy me, and this movie is no different. Then we've got Andy Samberg, who is actually a bright spot. I thought he played his character incredibly well, and he was perfectly cast. Idris Elba does a pretty decent job, but he's barely in the movie. Oh, Fortune Feimster. Who's Fortune Feimster, by the way? Like, I've never heard of this person before. Okay, some comedy person. Okay, anyways, this is the most annoying, aggravating character I've ever seen in a Disney movie. The movie thinks she's so funny and wild and crazy, and no. This character got on my nerves. This character tested me at points. Then we've got David Strathairn, who I'll actually say did a really good job. Patrick Warburton is good. I just wish he was in the movie more. And okay, there's too many actors in this movie, because if you go to Wikipedia and look at the cast list, you've got Shakira, Quinta Bronson, Tandy Trejo, Alan Tudyk, Bonnie Hunt, Jenny Slate, Nate Torrance, Macaulay Culkin, Brenda Song, Sally Strong, Ollie Cravallo, Anika Noni Ross, Ed Sheeran, Dwayne Johnson, Michael J. Fox, June Squibb, Josh Gad, Levite Nicole Brown, John Leguizamo, Tommy Chong. There are so many actors in this movie, and none of the other actors I just mentioned had anything to do. They're just simply in this movie so they can put them on the cast list. And no. Just feels like a giant waste. I heard about Michael J. Fox playing Michael the Fox, and I kept waiting for him, and where was he? Did I miss him? Like, I'm just baffled. Like, that's funny in concept, but it's nowhere to be seen in the movie. And if he is in the movie, it's a blink and you miss it moment. So I just found that to be annoying. But it's time to talk about my big issues, because my first one is, it begins and Judy is looked down on again. She doesn't follow orders again. It just feels like the same freaking movie. Like, I hate it when there's a movie and a sequel and there's no progression. One of my favorite sequels of all time is How to Train Your Dragon 2. And that movie begins and you see Hiccup is flying now. He's become a master at riding Toothless. And then he takes off the helmet and it looks like he has matured. Love the way Avatar 2 begins, where you see Jake become a father and how that changes who he is. Miles Morales in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. You can tell he's dealing with a lot, that he has more to deal with. You know, I like it when there's progression, because I don't want the same movie. If I want the same movie, I will just watch the original. By changing it up and by letting the characters grow, you are following up properly, and I just feel like that's absent here. Like, even the banter between Jody and Nick feels the exact same. They're working together, but there's push and pull and what's going to happen, and it drove me nuts. It really did. You know, I just wish this movie felt different, and if you know me, like, I'm not going to get into it, but I hate therapy talk, and this movie is filled with therapy talk in a way that feels very heavy-handed. I also hated Judy as a character. Like, she is a complete asshole. She is a complete narcissist, and yet the movie seems to look up to her. There is a point where she almost gets herself and Nick killed, and Nick saves them both, and she's just a complete bitch about it. And then a few minutes later, they get into an argument. Well, the movie looks up to her. No, absolutely not. As soon as you do that, I'm no longer on the movie's wavelength. And I just feel like this story falls apart the second you think about it. Like, it's a very generic mystery, and I don't want to give anything away, but like, there's a very important thing the characters are after, and it doesn't make sense that anybody would know about it. Like, the entire movie's about this thing, but how would they know about it? Because if they knew about it, well then, that would happen. And then on top of that, like, no one thought to turn on the lights before. Like, I know if you haven't seen the movie, these comments are going to seem a bit vague, but watch the movie and just answer the question. How do they know about that piece of paper? And why haven't they turned on the lights before? I'm just baffled. Zero thought was put into this movie. And look, it's trying to be culturally relevant because these Zootopia movies insist on having a message and insist on tackling social issues, which is fine. Lots of movies do that. I just saw Wicked for Good, and I love that movie, and it explores its themes in a very thoughtful way. But what this movie is trying to say about different cultures, like, is it trying to make a commentary on Christopher Columbus? Or, you know, like, as soon as you start reading between the lines of what this movie is trying to do and say, it just falls apart. And I don't know, I don't really care for the way these movies tackle their social issues. And also, the resolution to this movie is so phony. Like, I don't want to give anything away, but the movie keeps showing you how it's a broken system and the people in charge are evil, and the only way the villains can be stopped at the end is if everybody just had a change of heart, and I don't buy it for a second. And that's the entire point of the movie. It reminds me of Promising Young Woman in some way. The movie's also way too long. How long is it actually? It felt long. Almost 2 hours long, 108 minutes. this movie drags. Like, there was a point which should have been right before the third act climax. It should have been right near the end, and it happened like halfway through, and just really weird pacing here. I laughed twice, but the rest of the jokes kind of fell flat, and no one else in my theater really laughed either. I thought the expansion of the world building was pretty weak. Michael Giacchino's score, I love it in the original Zootopia, but here, there's just nothing new. It's the same score again. Actually, the song by Shakira, Zoo, it's a bop. You know, that's actually the best part of the movie, and it plays throughout the credits, so you kind of leave on a high, but then you think about the movie and you remember just how much it sucked. But that song is really good. And the animation is good. Like, objectively, it is good, but this Disney animation just fails to impress me now. You know, like, it's good. It's just not enough to really elevate the movie. It's just kind of become the norm. It's kind of become the expectation. So, yeah, I hated this movie. I really did. It has a couple decent moments. I do like Andy Samberg and his character. I do like, the song Zoo. It's so good. It's so good. But the second you stop and think about this story, it just falls apart. I don't really care for anything it's trying to say. I think the way it handled its characters is baffling. There's no progression, so it just feels more of the same. It just feels afraid to take any risks. And it's just, it just feels like a much worse version of the first movie. So I'm going to give Zootopia 2 a 2 out of 10. That seems a little nice, but I stand by it for now. But anyways, Zootopia 2. Have you seen it? What did you think? If this movie beats K-pop Demon Hunters at the Oscar, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like, I will lose my mind. But, like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin out.